Willis McGahee played 10 years in the NFL with several teams and was a two-time Pro Bowler. This almost never happened, however, after he suffered a devastating knee injury when he was playing for the Miami Hurricanes in the 2003 Fiesta Bowl National Championship. Now, this knee injury will always live in infamy because of how gruesome it was. Whenever Willis McGahee's name is brought up, the injury is also brought up that he suffered at the college level, but unfortunately a lot of people don't understand exactly what happened at the anatomical level. Welcome back, football fans. For those of you that aren't familiar with my channel, my name is Nick Gallo and I am a doctor of physical therapy. With today's video, I want to take a close look at one of the most gruesome injuries that college football has ever seen, and that is Willis McGahee's knee injury in the 2003 Fiesta Bowl. First, I am going to go over the actual injury video itself so we can see the exact mechanism of injury. Then I want to go over the specific anatomical structures that were involved for this specific injury. And finally, I want to go over Willis McGahee's timetable to which he returned to sport and compare that to the average person. If you like today's video and you find it informative, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because I will be making more videos in the future regarding sports injuries, rehabilitation, and physical therapy related content. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please put those in the comment section below. Now to begin, let's take a look at the specific mechanism of injury.
Here Miami chooses to run a screenplay. Quarterback dishes the ball to Willis McGahee, who runs and is then hit hard by Will Allen. Allen gets up to celebrate the big hit. However, Willis McGahee is still on the turf and he's being examined by the medical staff. They are examining his left knee, and in the slow motion clip we see exactly why. As Willis McGahee is running, Will Allen comes in and hits his left knee with his right shoulder, instantly bending his left knee backwards. McGahee is in extreme pain and the medical staff is with him, instantly evaluating him. The knee not only bends backwards, however, there are several ligaments in the knee that are torn completely. This diagram shows the four major ligaments of the knee joint. They are the ACL, the PCL, the MCL, and the LCL. The ligaments in red are the ones that Willis McGahee tore in this injury. The ACL is formerly known as the anterior cruciate ligament. As you can see in this diagram, it runs from the femur bone to the tibia bone. The main purpose of the ACL is to resist the forward motion of the tibia, also known as anterior tibial translation. The ACL also helps prevent the internal tibial rotation of the tibia. These are both necessary in order to have rotational stability at the knee joint. The PCL is formerly known as the posterior cruciate ligament. It also runs from the femur to the tibia bone, however it is located behind the ACL. The main function of the PCL is to resist the backward movement of the tibia, also known as posterior translation. Its other purpose is to prevent the femur from sliding off the front of the tibia, thus contributing to overall knee stability. The final ligament torn in this injury was the MCL, which is formerly known as the medial collateral ligament. The MCL also connects the femur and tibia bones, however this ligament is located toward the midline of the body, also known as the medial side of the knee. Because of the MCL's location, its primary function is to resist outward turning forces on the knee. Therefore, the MCL, along with all the other knee ligaments, contribute to overall knee stability. Having all three ligaments torn makes this injury known as a multi-ligament knee injury. Typically, with the multi-ligament knee injury, the person suffering from this is going to be out from sports for at least 1 year's time. McGahee would go on to be drafted by the Buffalo Bills in the first round in the 2003 NFL Draft. However, he would sit out the entire season because he was rehabbing these injuries. McGahee will move on to make a full recovery from these injuries and rush for over 1,000 yards in the 2004 and 2005 seasons. After this, for the next 8 years of his career, he will be one of the mainstream dynamic players in the NFL and being a very effective running back.
So to recap, Willis McGahee suffered that vicious hit on a screen pass, which resulted in his knee bending backwards, which subsequently tore his ACL, MCL, and PCL. The ACL, of course, is the big one that we always hear in the sports world, and that stands for the anterior cruciate ligament. This ligament functions predominantly to stabilize the knee, and it prevents that anterior translation of the tibia bone. The PCL is known as the posterior cruciate ligament, and this predominantly functions to prevent that posterior translation of the tibia. Since Willis McGahee was hit from the front and it pushed his tibia going backwards, causing his knee to bend the opposite way, it makes sense that this ligament was also injured. Finally, the MCL is short for the medial collateral ligament, and it's located along that middle inside portion of the knee. It functions predominantly to connect the femur and the tibia and also has a role in overall knee stabilization. Now, McGahee underwent surgery and extensive rehabilitation for this injury. In fact, he was drafted 23rd overall by the Buffalo Bills. However, he sat out the entire 2003 NFL season. Typically, if a person suffers a multi-ligament knee injury like this, they're going to be out for at least a year when it comes to sports, so it makes sense that McGahee was out for about a year and a half. This is a typical timetable given that the person that's injured does not have anything else going on, specifically nerve damage. What's truly amazing about this story is the fact that when McGahee came back in 2004, he had 2 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and he was able to play for a total of 10 seasons in the NFL as a dynamic player. What's even more amazing is the fact that McGahee had torn that exact same ACL his senior year in high school, and after 7 months of rehabilitation, returned to the field. Personally, I was always such a Willis McGahee fan because he had overcome so much injury-wise to get into the NFL and, of course, to become the dynamic player that he was the entire time he was playing in the NFL. And also, his story just goes to show you that if you're willing to put in the time and effort in rehab, then you can make a full recovery. And there you have it. That's the full breakdown for Willis McGahee's gruesome college knee injury. Thank you for watching. Once again, if you liked today's video and you found it informative, please subscribe to the channel because I will be doing more videos in the future. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.